Everyone. Today I'm going to be going over our game in round 7 between Niels Grandelius and Anish Giri. So, like I promised, I told you I was going to finish up the Tata Steel Masters before I go into the next tournament. And I don't think you all know this, but I think it's the candidates tournament that's going to be continuing in April. So that in November we're going to know who's going to challenge Magnus Carlsen for the world title. So let's begin. We have the Sicilian defense on the board, e4, c5, knight of 3, d6, d4, and c captures on d4. We're approaching the knight variation. We have knight captures on d4, knight f6, knight c3, and a6. We now have the knight orf on the board. Now we have f3. We're supporting this central pawn so that now you can shift your knight over this side if he decides to move his g pawn. Now we have e5 striking the center, knight to b3. Now you have these two knight duo over here controlling all these squares. Well, not this square, not for now, but we'll do it sometime later after he pushes his a pawn for some reason. Now we have bishop to e6, now putting pressure on the knight, bishop to e3, bishop to e7, and queen to d2. Getting ready to long castle, we have h5 and knight to d5. Ready to exchange the knight, or if he ignores the threat, you get the bishop. Knight captures on d5. Grandelius doesn't want to do that. Now he captures on d5. Attacking the bishop. Bishop to f5 and bishop to e2. Now getting ready to castle either king side or queen side. I don't know yet. Now we have a5. As I said, the square will be useful now. Now we have a4. Countering the a5 pawn, and now we have castles and knight to d7. We have f4, e captures on f4, bishop captures on f4, and rook to c8. We have c3, knight to f6, and bishop to e3. Moving the bishop back out of because he's done his job there. Now we have bishop to e4, bishop to d4, and knight captures on d5. We have bishop to f3 and bishop to g5, attacking the queen to e2, and bishop captures on f3. Queen captures on f3 and knight to f6. Going back because his queen is attacking, and you can't protect it with you can't do any immediate protections. You have to move back knight to f3. That makes sense because his bishop's putting pressure on g7, so it's completely ward off the attack, and queen to f5. Getting the queen closer to this king, and now you have knight to g4. Indirectly connecting the queen and the bishop in. Once the bishop attacks, you can capture, and then capture with your knight, and then it's a trade of the attacking pieces. We have queen captures on a5, and now you have rook to e8. Now with queen captures on d8, trading queens, bishop captures on d8, and rook f to e1. We have knight to e5, blocking the connection between the rooks, and now we have knight to d2. Whoa, one too fast, and rook to e6. We have rook e to d1, king to f8, and bishop and b4. Now we have knight to c6, bringing the knight back, putting pressure on the b4 pawn and attacking the bishop. Now we have bishop to f2, moving the bishop back, knight to e5 and a5. Rook captures on c3 was played in b5. We have knight to g4, and now we have bishop to d4. Rook to d3, and knight to c4. Now launching discovered attack on the bishop and protecting the bishop. Now launching a discovered attack on the rook and protecting the bishop behind it. Now we have rook captures on d4. He wants to trade. He wants to sacrifice his pieces, saying that okay, I have a nice duo, and then I'm gonna come in roaring down your king. Rook captures on d4. He accepted the rook, and now we have bishop to f6. But Niels Grandelius didn't think this over because not only is he losing in pieces, but he's also losing on time. Anish Giri is 21 minutes and 36 seconds, whereas Grandelius only has 1 minute and 27 seconds. We have rook d to d. The world let's go back. Rook d to d1. Where is that? Okay, so now we have rook d to d1, moving the bishop back, not moving the rook back because of this nice skewer. Move the rook back, and now we have d5. Attacking the knight, he wants to attack first because he already knows that he's winning the rook. And now we have knight to b6. I think a better move would have been knight to b2. Now you're sacking the knight so that you can keep your rook. You can keep the rook pair, but as we said, knight to b6 is a little better because you maintain the pressure. Because if you do put knight to b2, now after bishop captures, now rook b1, now the bishop moves back, and now you have a bishop and knight for a rook, and that's always offered. Now we have d5, knight to b6, knight to e3, now you're attacking the rook, knight to d7 with check, king to e7, knight captures on f6, and it was in this position on move 39 that Niels Grandelius resigned the game, as there's nothing more to be done here. And as we said, if you capture back, you lose the chance to capture the rook. So you have to capture now it's white's move. Sorry about that. Now if you want to maintain the pressure, you capture the rook. And then you do that, but you still lose the d5 pawn, and then you have a passed pawn on the queen side, and you even have a few countering pawns king side. So this should be a good game for you, for Anish Giri. And somehow looks like Grandelius managed to play fast and win back the material. Ooh, no, win back the time. But how did everyone get back to? Okay. That's a mystery of life. And after knight captures on f6, Grandelius resigned in a beautiful game by Anish Giri. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. And I hope you have a brilliant rest of your day. Bye bye.